trying to get you guys the Sword Coast map. Word of warning, it's possible we will go this whole game without a fight.
I'm okay
For
with
the
that.
second time in a row?
Quite possible, yeah.
Yeah, it's also possible for one of us to completely ruin that in the first 30 minutes. So
Right, that's true.
Nick, don't talk.
Oh, shit. Do I need to do my portent rolls?
Yeah.
Like a 19 and a 4.
No,
Why
it's
do I
every time
fucking-
you do a long rest, he has to do it.
Oh, yeah, because it'd be another one.
Yep.
Seven, 11.
7 and 11. Okay. I'm going to assume you're making a note for that or something.
Oh, I put it on the abilities tab.
What does that do?
Next
Oh,
to portent,
good.
there's parentheses, and it shows what numbers I have available.
What does it do?
At the start of each day, Brian rolls 2 20s. He can substitute those rolls at any time for any d20 that's rolled.
Oh, nice.
Well, it's attack roll, saving throw, or ability check.
Should have rolled higher.
yeah.
That's not bad.
It's his ability to perceive the future.
Oh, but he can do the enemies, like, replace their roll as well, right? Is that right?
Yep.
Oh, okay. That's good then to have a low roll sometimes, too. That's nice.
Yeah, it's the middle ones that suck. Like 7s and 11s.
11's not horrible.
11's good for me to hit.
yeah.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Or Jaeger. I mean, he could hit on two. Oh, that's you, duh. Never mind. You can probably hit on 3.
Okay.
Who's dogs?
My dog.
So-
sorry.
It's okay. I was curious.
The next morning, there is, as you each, I don't remember, are you all staying in the same inns? Are you?
Yeah, I thought we were.
Okay. Well, actually, I guess Lucas is returning from the fields.
Yeah.
And Coven's getting laid.
Coven is getting laid. So, Dragon Mask. Here's what you're able to find out about it, Brian.
All right.
One, you have basically full knowledge of the abilities granted by it. It will grant you resistance to whatever that dragon's damage type is. Like, Black Dragon Mask gives you resistance to acid. It allows you to speak with dragons. It actually enhances your ability to influence dragons subtly. Like, they won't notice it. So it's kind of like almost like a charm. So they're very much more receptive to what you say. It also gives you the ability to breathe dragon breath, a lot like a dragonborn. And it gives you, what was the last one? Black Dragon Mask.
There may have been a sight thing or something. It's in my inventory.
Dark vision.
Dragon sight.
Yeah. Draconic Majesty. If you're not wearing armor, you can add your charisma bonus to your armor class.
Oh shit.
And dragon tongue. I can speak and understand draconic.
Mm-hmm.
And water breathing.
And yes, water breathing for a black dragon. Oh, and legendary resistance. Once per day, if you fail a saving throw, you can choose to succeed it instead.
Oh, yeah.
More importantly, if you have at least 2 of the masks, they can be assembled into the Mask of the DragonQueen. It's essential for summoning Tiamat. It's part of the ritual. You do not need all 5 masks, though, to perform the ritual. But every mask you don't have weakens Tiamat, or at least she'll be weaker on arrival. Eventually, she would regain her full strength upon entering this world, but she would enter this world weaker if they didn't have all the masks, such as missing the black mask that you have. You know that the ritual requires 3 primary things: the masks. Actually, no, set the mask aside. Once you have the mask, you need a lot of wizards, accomplished, not just wizards, but spellcasters, to cast the ritual. Like 9+. very high level wizards as well. I mean, this is not a small ritual. You need a very large sacrifice in the hundreds. That could take many forms, such as the mass sacrifices of bodies. It could be slaying your enemies.
Like Davy Jones, the quality of the soul is not always equal.
Yeah, basically. Now, the last thing they need is treasure. They must have a hoard befitting the Dragon Queen to complete the ritual.
We need to go there.
Which would be the horde of thousands of dragons.
No, hoard of money.
It'd be a pretty big badass horde, such as the one they've been collecting. From what you can tell, at least what you're hearing, you stopped a very large portion of the treasure that was moving. But the horde is the cult is branching every direction. In fact, they're branching in 5 separate directions. You have just been following the black dragon, the black worm speaker. You also found out some more information about the cult itself. Their organization is the 5 worm speakers are like the elders, and then beneath them are the wearers of purple, who are basically the same rank. They just don't have a dragon mask. Like the head of each wearer of purple is the worm speaker.
Okay.
Below that, then it goes dragon wings, the dragon claws, the dragon shields, I think. And then after that, regular cultist, which is still someone who's come a long way. And then you're like an acolyte, is next. And then the very bottom is like your cultist. And the cultists are really, most of them are no more than common people who have just been handed a sword and are looking for a better life. Who've been promised an easier life if they help out the cult.
They chose poorly.
Yeah. So, garlic butter.
Oh, yeah.
I think that covers just about. That's all the specific stuff I tell you. Do you have any specific questions about it? And I'll
What
tell you
about
if you
destroying the mask.
destroying it. You would have to. It would require like something Mount Doom like throwing it into the caldera of an active volcano.
Damn.
Nice.
And if you do destroy it, would it like be reformed at some point, or is it actually destroyed at that point?
No one's ever destroyed one, but it's believed that it would destroy the enchantment. It's tied to Tiamat herself.
But they would still only need 2 of the other masks. It wouldn't destroy like the whole.
It would not stop their ability to summon Tiamat. No. It would just weaken her state as she enters the world. And it's only a factor. It's not like she would come in weakened by a 5th. It's one small factor between the sacrifices and the treasure and the masks and everything. So, any other questions?
Hey, did I get? Are the bards interested in doing that?
I'm sorry, I meant any other questions about the mask for Brian.
For people who
And then
wear
I'll move on
it,
to the next
do
person.
they like become corrupted or anything? Like, does it have an evil influence or anything like that?
It's an evil artifact.
Okay.
It's not really sentient, but there's always that lust. There's always that chance the power could corrupt.
But it won't actively corrupt you. It's just.
As far as you know, no. But there's very little in the. There's a lot of details about the creation. There's very little detail or record of their actual use.
Where have they been all this time? Has the cult just like kept it and passed them down, or what?
They were originally created by a very, very old sect of the cult that was directly being influenced by Tiamat. When she had the idea, she imbued them with a divine spark to help them create these masks in an effort to bring herself back into the world, but it fell apart. Reasons aren't really known why. She ended up remaining banished to hell. The first layer of hell, if anyone cares. And the cult, kind of that little tiny sect of the cult faded away, and the cult, the modern cult of the dragon, which really worships dead dragons and bringing Dracoliches into the world, they were just kind of lost to time. It's only very recently that the masks have surfaced and caused basically a whole new wave of the cult that worships Tiamat. Okay. John. There are several bards who show up, dozens actually. You guys are pretty famous. All of them want a chance to meet Coven. So a large group of bards comes to the inn, and while there's not exactly a oh, you know what? You're right. We didn't. Well, we'll do it here in a second. In addition to all the bards showing up, there's several very catchy tunes, but it really doesn't matter because by the time they're all done auditioning, the whole tavern is fighting and singing and arguing about which one's the best one. And by the next morning, you can hear people still humming and singing the various cult bashing songs.
All right.
So you
So
actually
that's
feel as though morale in the city may have picked up a little. Plus, there's news that some of the crops that have been waning all around Waterdeep have suddenly sprung to life and like grown a week's worth in a day. So, anything else?
Any bards that can actually heal, though?
No, there are no healing bards. None of the bards are high level. When I say bards, these are actually minstrels.
We can fix that. We can take them along with us for XP. Power leveling.
okay.
Just get frozen by dragon breath or whatever. Details.
It hurts. It hurts.
It hurts real bad.
So there's more news buzzing through the streets pretty quickly.
Oh.
Yes.
Also, when I get back to the inn, I'm going to try to pull the group aside and I'm going to say, hey, just to let you guys know, I was approached by someone who wanted to know if they had my vote. I'm going to do what I think is in the best interest, but I wanted to let you guys make you aware of that I was approached.
Okay.
We were approached as well. What were they asking for?
They didn't want anything. They just wanted to know if I had their back, and I told them I would do what I thought was in the best interest of the people and the lady. That's kind of where we were at.
We were just asked to maintain status quo. So
Okay.
just
Oh, here's a map, everybody.
hey, Matt,
It's a map. It's a map.
do not sing that fucking song.
You are here.
It's a map.
I don't know that song.
There, it's over.
Yeah, be happy, Nick.
Okay.
Delicioso.
You never watched Dora?
No.
What was it? Oh, go, Diego, go.
Swiper, no swiping.
So
My nieces watched it, but I didn't.
news spreads very quickly that
That.
yeah. So news is breaking out, and it turns out it didn't happen today, but the news is now hitting the streets. Part of this whole rush to form a council all of a sudden, and the cult's been sitting aside for so long and no one's done anything. It turns out Remy Haventree, that's the Harper, the member of the Harpers that you spoke with. Brian, I believe you're the one who spoke with her, who brought you the books on the cult. It turns out that her husband was one of the masked lords of Waterdeep. Farthagast Ubrinter. He was assassinated 3 days ago. And it's believed that it was done by the cult. Did I?
Do we have evidence, or is she wanting us to look into it?
She never said anything to Brian. But anyways, it's really
to vote against the cult, basically. Anything to destroy the cult.
Okay. That was kind of my plan anyway.
So it kind of sounds like maybe that's been the reason for this big push, and that Remy has been one of the moving forces in getting the council together and getting people to meet. So, as you're rising, going about your business for the day, as you're stepping out of the inn, there's suddenly a shift in the wind. There's
Attack it.
it's a really weird sense of unease just permeates the air. It's kind of like the drop in air pressure before a storm, only very rapidly.
So it's not so much the
Magical.
people.
You can almost feel like tremors, as though there was an earthquake, but it's like if it was a continent away and just barely shaking. It's so imperceptible. But as you look around, you can see dogs have their ears down. Birds have stopped making noise. The air is still. Everybody's looking around, trying to figure out what is happening. But there's no dogs barking, no birds squawking. The street vendors are quiet. It's just all goes completely silence. About 5 seconds pass, and the feeling goes away.
Interesting.
Dogs start
Could
to
I
wag
tell
their
where it
tails, and
came
around the
from?
birds start to tweet again. It was almost like time stopped for a second.
Hey, can I get an Arcana check?
Sure.
And I want to ask Folomir if he had any ideas.
Felmer hasn't got a clue.
Okay.
He's never heard of any. He doesn't even know what it was, but it was wrong. It was unnatural, whatever it was.
Maybe it's summon the dark dragon.
Would my perception let me figure out which direction it was, or have an idea?
You can try.
Wait. I wish you good luck with that, buddy. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that too because Brim would think that's a great idea. He'd do that too.
Shit.
Ooh, units men single.
Where are you, Jaeger? There you are. Okay.
All right. There's no direction.
Damn
It's-
it.
It's like the air just, almost like the air pulsed for a moment, and then it stopped. There's no sense of direction of it. It's just, you're pretty sure it was everywhere. It was a very oppressive feeling, and you're very sensitive to it. But
All right.
it's like the world just, it's almost like the rotation of the, like, obviously your characters don't know this science. It's almost like the world slowed down for a second.
So like
the world
everybody
stopped
jumped at
spinning
once.
for just a second.
Make everybody jumped at once, Jason.
I was trying to resist saying a disturbance in the force text.
Nice. 1 second.
Now, thunder without sound's a good no is a better way to just say it.
All right. Fair enough. So when
Okay.
is the council meeting then?
Today at noon.
for it or
is when it
anything?
begins. What's that, Brian?
Do we have masks for it or anything? Or are we going in public?
No, this is a council. This is not a masked council. This is a council of Waterdeep. This is not the masked lords meeting.
Oh,
Waterdeep's just where they're all meeting at because it's the largest city.
will some of the masked lords be there? Or
You don't know?
I mean, like, would they show up in masks? Or
You're really not
It's
sure.
just- Okay.
Probably not, because it would be obvious who is missing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm trying to figure out this whole mask thing.
All right, you are being at your inn. A carriage pulls up, and the driver calls out to you as he rides up. Let you know that he's prepared to take you to the Lord's Palace unless you have anywhere else you need to stop first. And then you are to meet with Leosin Erlanthar, the monk from the Harpers that you've known for a while. And he's going to take you into the council chamber proper.
All right.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Doesn't take long for you to get across the town. Sorry, the city, and arrive at the Lord's Palace. It's just a magnificent, sprawling castle with a huge wall around it. You're taken in through the inner gates, through the courtyards, and when the carriage comes to a stop, you are before it's a large set of double doors on the west end of the keep, and Leosin is standing there waiting for you. He greets you all and bids you to follow him. He said the council is just about to start. They were just waiting for you to arrive. And he's not allowed into the council proper, but Remy let him know that all the factions are nominally committed to stopping the cult right now, but no one's really made any substantive pledges. So just a lot of mistrust between the factions, and they really don't know enough about the situation. So Erlanthar and Leosin and Remy both believe that what they really need is leaders that are going to show them the right path, and they think you guys are the ones that are going to do it. So Remy wanted Leosin to tell you, be very careful what you say. They're going to scrutinize every one of your decisions. So whatever pleases one group might offend another one, and it's going to be very difficult to make everybody happy.
Oh,
Hey, Jason, did you see what I put there?
Sure. I can tell you right off the bat, what you pick up on is people talking about the death of Remy's husband. That's what a lot of people are talking about. And
I was thinking specifically in the council meeting as well.
Oh, right. Okay. And on the way in, you can hear a lot of reverent whispers about, oh my gosh, that's them. They captured Skyreach Castle. So apparently a lot of people have heard of you. So are you guys ready for this?
Wait, hold on 1 second, Jason. Hold on. What is Folomir?
He is a pixie. No.
He's not a pixie.
Yeah, he's a pixie.
Yeah, he was a pixie because I wasn't allowed to call him a fairy.
No,
Yeah.
he is a fairy.
He's a pixie, though. A pixie is like
type
a
of fairy.
warrior of the fairies.
No, the reason I'm asking is because he has abilities that I want to utilize during this conversation. The main one is like his ability to sense. It's not necessarily deception, but it's like that.
Sense motivation.
You can tell people are lying.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. I just want him. I want him to know that I want him with me, but I want him hidden. No pranks. It's very important that he doesn't do any pranks.
You don't say that to him. I'll let you.
What?
You don't say that to him. Pixies are not pranksters. You're thinking of sprites. He's not a prankster. He's a warrior, and he takes it very seriously. He's not a prankster.
Okay, so you get what I'm going to ask him, but I want him to tell me if anyone's being deceptive.
Sure.
All right, then I want to tell him to be on his best behavior. How about that? And stay hidden.
Don't stab random people.
don't plink them.
I'm going to be like, these are the kings of the lands.
That is accurate.
I mean, something else we should also do before we go in there. We should probably confer as a party. Hey guys, what do we want to do about the cult?
Stop them.
Here we go. Okay.
I want to kill them.
Me too.
So,
Great idea.
And you also want to do a recap at some point, I think.
I will get there.
I hope you guys are ready for this.
Y'all ready for this?
Goddamn
Someone
believe-
taking notes.
Wait.
Can we do a recap before we do that?
Sure. Well, how about our recap, buddy?
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to session 25 of do you believe we're starting on the Tyranny of Dragons, or we're not there yet? We're almost there.
Rise
I
of Tiamat.
Rise of Tiamat. There we go.
You
Where our party has spent the day several days in Waterdeep preparing for a meeting of the council where the lords and factions of kingdoms all over the land are getting together to try to decide what to do. After spending a good portion of their treasure hoard to upgrade their wares and generally make themselves a stronger party, they were also approached by members of various factions and asked to provide some backing in the upcoming council. And now our party gathers together to discuss their plans going into the council meeting.
All right. As the main double doors are opened, you see just a sprawling, huge semicircular chamber. There's a central stage area and then seating all around it that's tiered. And at each tier, there is a large table with chairs around it for each group of the council to meet up.
The small council.
No. So there are a lot of people in attendance. First, all of the introductions start, and they start going through everybody there. I'm just going to tell you the names and what faction they represent.
Okay.
And I figure, worst case, you can play this back later if somebody wants to get this all really accurate. Okay. The person who seems to be starting the introductions is Ramalia Haventree, who Beldak already met. She is a moon elf and leader of the Harpers. Next, from the Order of the Gauntlet is Onthar Froome. He is a human paladin. You've also known him for some time. Well, at least Coven has. He brings the resources of the Order of the Gauntlet.
Which is a paladin order? That's a paladin order, Jason?
Yes.
No, he just
Well, the Order of the Gauntlet's not necessarily paladins, but it's
Okay.
paladins or clerics are probably the most common members of the Order of the Gauntlet, but they're more of a public justice, whereas the Harpers are more behind-the-scenes justice.
Gotcha.
But they tend to have the same goals. Okay. The Emerald Enclave introduces Delon Winterhound. Lucas, that's who you wrote out with. He represents the Emerald Enclave and brings the potential druids, treants, good aligned lycanthropes. He's a half-elf ranger, and the Emerald Enclave is interested in the preservation of the natural world. From the Zentarum, you're introduced to Rion Nightshade, who winks at Coven.
Oh.
She is a tiefling warlock.
What is her name again?
Rion Knight.
Rion Nightshade, a tiefling warlock. She brings the assassins and mercenaries of the Zentarum to the table. The Zentarum are really like the behind-the-scenes, like a world-spanning thieves guild. They typically are with world politics much, but stopping Tiamat is in everyone's best interest. And now get ready for it, the Lord's Alliance.
Yeah.
The Lord's Alliance is a collection of basically all the major leaders of the world.
it's like the UN.
Yeah.
Lady Laryl Silverhand is a female human wizard. She can pledge the resources of Waterdeep's army and conscript troops. Scratch that. She's not
Didn't
there.
make sense for a wizard anyway.
She's not there.
She's not there. Just kidding.
No. I'll spoil it. She'll be at the next council. Okay. Lord Dagult Neverember. He is a human male. He is the Lord of Neverwinter and the open Lord of Waterdeep right now. As they don't have, there's no open Lord. Because Waterdeep has a council of masked lords and then an open Lord who speaks for them. He is currently the acting open Lord. Obviously, what he can bring to the table is pretty massive. Okay. Oops. Need to keep scrolling. Ambassador Conrad Braunanvil. There's a male shield dwarf.
What was his last name?
Braun Anvil.
Braunanvil. He is the former king of Mithril Hall.
Oh, so
He has come from Mithril Hall to act as the Lord's Alliance delegate for the Dwarves of the North. He represents Mithril Hall, Citadel Adbar, and Citadel Felbar. He offers dwarf soldiers and dwarf forged armaments and siege weapons. Marshal Ulder Ravengard. He is the leader of the Flaming Fist, which is the military might of Baldur's Gate. He is a male human. King Melandra, Melandragh, is a male wild elf. He is the king of the Misty Forest and the delegate for the elves of the Misty Forest and the High Forest. He pledges elven eldritch knights to the cause. At least that's what he could potentially bring. Cairn Thunderspell's Hornblade is a human wizard. Brian, you know that he has an unnaturally long life for some reason. He led Silvery Moon for many years as a high mage, but he eventually ceded control to the current leader of Silvery Moon.
Did he do it peacefully?
I'm sorry?
Did he do it peacefully, or was it?
Yes.
Okay.
He just retired. He is centuries old and human. He brings the army of Silvery Moon and their troops.
damn.
Sir Isteval, Isteval, a human paladin, male. He brings he's a former adventurer, and he is a purple dragon knight of Cormyr. And he pledges the resources of Cormyr, including the purple dragon knights as well as the war wizards.
Damn.
He is the representative for Daggerford.
Oh.
He is also a member of the Order of the Gauntlet.
Oh.
Does he like us?
All right. That's all of the lords that are there. They are also accompanied by their retinues.
Are we taking their names too?
No.
God.
I just want you to have an idea of who all was there.
So wait. I have a question. Now you were saying that the bad guys, they have their wearers of purple. They're kind of like almost leaders, but without masks. And then this guy's a purple dragonite. What's up with all the purple? Is it an important color for some reason?
It's the color of nobility.
It is the color of nobility.
So the bad guys are nobility? That's why they're...
They think they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, someone's got to be king.
It's good to be
All right.
Does have to be king.
So, after all the introductions are made, Lord Dagult Neverember takes he steps back from the stage and motions for the party to step up to the center.
All right. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it, yeah.
In slow-mo style.
And
Hey guys, last
introduce
time,
yourselves. This is to the council, not to me.
Oh, wow.
I know who you are. So
Well, I'll start. My name is Coven Mishan Darshidian. I hail from the Dragon Isles. I am the bane of Lenathon the Blue and Glaziel the White.
some people pound on their table after you finish your introduction. A couple of people even cheer. Onthar is like just beaming and glowing. You swear he's like I trained him. So, all right. Neverember nods to whoever's next.
I'm Jägermeister, Master of the Hunt, Dragonbane, Adrenaline Junkie.
Okay.
That's it.
Next.
I'll step forward and give a little flourish of a bow. And using my best performance voice, I will announce that I am Lucas Chandler, a knight of the Summer Lady.
That would explain your companion. Neverember speaks.
Oh,
What?
I said, who said that?
No. Lord Daggle Neverember nods and says, that would explain your companion. By the way, he's sitting on your shoulder right now, invisible.
Yeah, I figured he would, so I'm just going to nod at him.
Respectfully, we need your creature of the Fae to wait outside.
If I may be so bold as to ask why, sir.
We don't trust creatures of the Fae. You notice the Elf King clears his throat. Like, Neverember looks up. Most of us would be more comfortable if the creatures of the Fae were not in this room.
Telepathically, I'm going to ask him if he would go scout the perimeter and make sure we're not invaded by the dragon minions or whatever. I'm going to give him some fluff. Try to persuade him.
Way to patronize me, man. I have the I speak English. He's like, I speak common. All right. He zips off. Someone starts to open the door, and he just like it's a crack. Bam! He's out the door. All right. Next.
Who hasn't gone yet besides me?
That Texan's got a point. What are you going to do? Lie to it?
Oh, I haven't gone yet. Do you want me to go?
Sure, go ahead.
Well, there's only two fucking of you left. One of you hop forward.
Right.
Who's starting to go down?
I'm from Greenest. I'm a wizard. Hi.
I'm Bram, captain and veteran of the Deep Water. What are we saying again? I forgot. Just introducing ourselves?
You did fine.
That's fine.
Yeah, okay, good. Then, yeah, that's all.
That'll do, Pig. That'll do.
Yeah, Brim's actually fairly eloquent. Kind of gives a nice bow. He's been in court plenty of times back in the day. All right. With the introductions out of the way, Neverember says, we've heard some things from Leosin, and Remy has been kind enough to share all of her scouting reports with us. But you represent the most full exposure to the cult that we have seen. If you would, so that we understand what has happened, from your perspective, please tell us how you first encountered a cult and how you got to here. And yes, guys, I'm asking someone to recap. Remember, this is what the cult will know about you.
Oh, man.
Wait, hold on.
They'll prod you.
Colvin,
If you
you
guys
got this.
want, I mean, he'll prod you for things. First,
From the beginning.
tell us about what happened in Greenest.
That's COVID right there. Nobody else knows.
Yeah, well, when
Oh, I know exactly what happened.
Oh,
He knows one version.
A very long time ago in Greenest.
I know about 5 versions.
you should play on the emotional strategy of losing all your companions.
Yeah, that was the plan, Brim. Thanks.
Sorry.
Myself and some others not here with us today were adventuring forth and saw a lot of smoke coming up. And we ran forward to investigate, and lo and behold, the city was under attack from a dragon. And through the concerted efforts of ourselves and the keepers of that city and the keep within, we were able to drive off many members of the cult. However, they didn't make it out empty-handed, and much of the treasures were taken from that city. So we tracked them and followed them and found them in a large camp not far from there.
One of them interrupts you, the dwarf. Word has it that you yourself slew Lenithon the Blue. Is that true?
Oh, no, he didn't this time. They told me yesterday. I thought he did.
Lenithon is the...
There's some glances as everyone looks back and forth at each other after whatever name he's using today you just said.
Lenithon the Blue Dragon Lenithon the Dragon left the support of Frulam.
Inspiration.
Fled in terror.
Inspiration for remembering her fucking name. That's impressive.
Fruit Bomb, Fruit Loop.
That was almost a year ago.
Left the support of Frulan at the after realizing that
Hey,
her claws and green.
Say her last name and maybe I'll even give you a level.
Mondo.
And that's
No.
not Dath, but
Oh, he got it.
Yeah, nice.
So you got a level?
No, I just need a proper incentive.
No takebacks. It was a verbal agreement. It's binding legally.
Lenithon threw his support off of Frulan Mondath's cause after he realized it was lost. But not without
Okay,
a spear
you know, is
in
he
his
satisfied?
eye. And that's what happened in Greenest.
So then you tracked the cult. How
Yeah.
did you? Where did you? What happened next?
Following the cult in a northwesterly direction, it wasn't difficult to track hordes of kobold and men running to aid them, carrying carts full of treasure. And we came across a couple of smaller camps as we approached a very much larger camp where deep within a cave in the back, a set of eggs were being grown and harvested with some dragons within, protected by a very large roper.
The spokesman for the Emerald Enclave jumps in. Dragon eggs, intact.
Correct.
Well, I must assume that you succeeded in infiltrating the caves. What happened to the eggs?
The eggs were destroyed.
He seems disappointed. You notice several members of the Lord's Alliance don't seem super happy either.
That black dragons weren't brought into the world? Oh man, this is going to turn racist really quick. After some coordinated effort by myself and several of my compatriots at that point, we were able to disrupt the operations of that camp, and they disbanded and headed out in several directions.
And you followed one of those groups all the way to Waterdeep.
Correct. We were led to a caravan that was going to be traveling north for a very long time, a season or more. And within that caravan were carts of treasure and what we believe were many representatives of the cult who tracked northward.
Whatever happened to them?
see. We followed that cart.
If you don't remember, you murdered every single one of them.
Yeah,
Not a one of them ever got away.
Oh yeah, that was on the long road, the high road. There was a road out in the woods. There was a swamp, and we tracked them all to a castle in the swamp, and that's where we caught them all there. I do believe.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
So you tell them about getting the castle near Aetar. We've long wondered what happened to that castle. This is the Elf King. I'm sorry, not the Elf King. The wizard, the very old wizard from Silvery Moon. We've long wondered what happened to that castle. There was rumored to be a scrying device in one of the towers, which would allow you to map the stars and view any location remotely.
We did find a device in the upper portions of the castle, but we had no idea how to operate it.
Did we break it?
No, you tried to though.
That's right.
But it's still intact.
Yeah.
To our knowledge, when we left it was intact.
Excellent. That will be useful. Perhaps we can turn it against the cult.
Yes.
So, where did you go after the castle?
Let's see.
I'd like to interrupt him.
Yeah, Jaeger's involved at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to tell him that our deeds are known, and people have talked about it. Surely we've all heard the rumors and whispers. We've been following a clumsy band of cultists and leaving a wake of blood in our path in order to quell the cult of the dragon. Let's get to the business at hand.
Very well. So, I guess what we know of you really stops at that point. We just know that you boarded a castle that flies.
Yes.
And what was the fate of that castle?
That castle flies somewhere about these lands now. We left.
It flies wherever the occupants wish it to.
The Sky Giants.
The lord of that castle, who granted us our lives, Blagothkis, the cloud giant,
That's it, sorry.
left us in the spine of the world mountains.
So
I was avoiding that. Thanks, though.
No problem.
the captain of the Flaming Fist expresses concern that maybe you should have waited to board the castle until you could have summoned reinforcements and actually taken it. It seems like this was a valuable resource that could have been lost.
Any further delay on our part with the castle at all would have lost it entirely. And
Jason, the castle flew from the magic of that giant, didn't it?
You're not entirely sure, but yes.
Okay.
It was.
I'm going to interrupt him a little bit and say that taking the castle would not have given you a flying fortress. It would have given you a falling fortress, as the magic that was running the castle would have left with that giant had he been disposed or deposed.
Okay, he seems pretty correct. He doesn't really have an argument for that. Like he
and I'm going to look at him and I'm going to be like, the thought of having a flying castle would have been very cool.
Doesn't want to fly.
Besides, we had to get on the castle, and we did because it was flying away, and we had to meet Lucas.
True.
So the castle's lost to us then.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys never had it.
Yes.
Yeah.
His logic is impeccable.
Yes, Gogalis, there are character sheets. I just don't have one up because that's an observer that's looking right now. All right. Well, they talk over it and discuss it. At the very end of the discussion, by the way, as a reminder, Logothka said that he'll be there when it's time. So he plans on coming back to help.
Sweet.
Finally,
Yeah.
after some discussion, they elect to. They feel that you have represented what they need. You have shown conviction and a dogged persistence in following after the cult. The council deputizes all of you with emergency investigative powers, and you're each given a writ that basically decrees such.
Yes.
It has a royal seal from Dagalt Neverember, as well as all of the other kings. The former king of Mithril Hall, the former lord of Silvery Moon, the captain of the guard of Baldur's Gate. Basically, all of the representatives there deputize all of you with emergency powers to investigate any place and anything you need in order to further the cult. So,
Thank you.
upon doing so, Romalia brings in, or has one of the sages that's with her stand and come forward, and she describes that everybody everybody felt that weird disturbance this morning. There's nods around. Everybody recognizes that it happened. She said that one of her experts in the field has revealed that this was not a freak accident. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this in here.
Did people really think it was?
The disturbance that's been sensed across the Sword Coast is known as the Drockhorn. It's an ancient device whose sounding alerts dragons across Faerun that great events are unfolding. It's impossible to say what the sounding means, but dragons hear it clearly, and they will eventually answer its call.
Oh, nice.
Did Coven hear it?
Of course.
He didn't hear it any different than you guys did.
Yeah.
He felt it.
Is it only chromatic dragons that hear it?
Lady Silverhelf continues. No, all dragons, metallic or chromatic, hear this call. I don't know why it's sounding. I just know that it is. A few of the council members ask how she knows so much about it. And Lady Silverhelf just flatly refuses to reveal it. She says, I have sources that I trust, and I will not share them.
Isn't she the one that's like the information broker person?
No, this is just someone.
Okay.
She's a member of the Harpers. but
Oh, okay.
She was brought in by Remy just for this testimony.
Okay.
Do we know where the epicenter for that is?
We could probably do research when we leave here.
Silverhelp does not. She
Hey,
just
Jason,
knows
when
that
she
it's-
refused to reveal the information, I want to give her a wink.
Okay. She smiles oddly. Romalia also brings in another person to testify, not to testify, but to give their accounting. This is weird-looking man. He's wearing a rough cloak. Looks like they just tried to clean him up and wash his face off. He's definitely just coming off the road. But he comes in and tells of news of their spy network in the north. Apparently, Remy has decided to focus all of the Harper's resources into the cult's activities and their most powerful members. She was successful, and this shady adventurer reports that the movements of Verum, also known as Verum the White, the white worm speaker, his movements have been tracked.
Oh.
And they have a lead on where he might be.
Where is it?
It's in the northwest, in an area in the woods. It's believed that he is on the run for some reason, and he has the white dragon mask with him. And it might be an opportunity. The other thing people that the council would like is more information about the Draghorn. Supposedly, there is a member of the Arcane Brotherhood, Lucas and Balkel, I guess now, have both heard of the Arcane Brotherhood. It's a group of mages that it's really an interest in the arcane is what's required for membership. It doesn't matter if you're good or bad or whatever. It's just a brotherhood of study. One of the foremost experts on the Draghorn, or at least that was studying it, is somewhere up deep north in the Sea of Moving Ice.
Oh, wow. That is a long-ass way up there.
So is everything we're looking for north?
Yeah.
So, is this thing I don't know how this is going to work. Yeah. So the Sea of Moving Ice was the last known location of the Draghorn. No one can pinpoint its present location from the sound or even verify with certainty that the relic is in the Northern Sea. But it's one of the best places we could start the search. The one person who could tell us more is a tiefling sorcerer called Makath the Crimson. No one alive knows more about the Draghorn than her, but the Arcane Brotherhood, of which she is also a member, hasn't seen her for 3 years. She was investigating the Sea of Moving Ice when she disappeared.
So what is the Draghorn?
Well, that's what the Draghorn. He just explained that
The
earlier.
dragon horn.
Yeah, it's a something that makes a sound that reverberates across the world. That
Sorry. I didn't make that connection.
I missed that. So that's what's calling them.
Horn. That's yeah.
Draghorn.
It sounds like it.
I'm sorry. I might have stated that wrong for Verum. The rumor that the spy brought is that Verum has lost the white dragon mask and is traveling abroad to find it.
Ah,
Yeah.
Oh, that's different.
that is different.
Well, if he doesn't have it, who cares?
But the last known location to start looking for him would be called Borskir Bridge, which is far to the northwest.
Let's go.
Well, I mean, what else is the council looking for? More information on the Draghorn, the white dragon mask and its previous owner, Verum the White.
Yes. Anything else that you could propose? Again, it seems like this was more of an information gathering and deciding to elect someone to start doing something about it, but it doesn't seem like anyone's really committed to offering anything. Now, this is your opportunity to bring up things you want or ask questions you have.
I'm going to ask what they're planning on doing in their own territories to dissuade the cult.
Thank you.
The Dwarf King is the first to speak. He stands and thumps his fist on the table. He says that the dwarves have always taken care of their own lands, and they will continue to take care of their own lands. He's yet to see a reason that he should spare his troops away from his own territory.
Are there cultist issues in the Dwarven lands? Do we know?
They've seen dragons flying.
Okay.
Every council member reports that in their lands there have been dragons sighted flying across the countryside, like way up in the air. And pretty much every region has had a town be hit by, like a small village, or get hit by a dragon just passing by, just smash it and keep moving. Dragon activity is definitely up. The dwarf doesn't have an issue. It's not that he doesn't have an issue with helping. It's just He's not going to send his troops out if there's nowhere to send them.
Oh, okay.
He's going to
Of course.
defend his own lands until he has a reason, until he has something concrete that he could actually
Okay.
help with. Because right now he says, I agree the cult is bad, but right now I'm not going to send my troops to guard Waterdeep. Waterdeep has their own troops.
Of course.
The elves kind of feel the same way. The human cities are a little more open to maybe sharing troops, but right now each one has basically said, we are holding our city, we recognize there's a problem, but we need something concrete that we can actually attack.
If we give you something concrete, sorry, Josh. If we give you something concrete, will you join us in fighting the cult, regardless of where they are at? And I'm not
We have
posing that
every
at the
intention.
dwarves. I'm asking the group.
The general consensus from the council is, yes, that's why we're deputizing you. We will give you the ability to move across borders, across regions. Any city, anywhere you go, you will have the right to investigate and ask whatever questions as though it was coming from us.
Okay.
Find our targets for us. Find the cult. Since you, there's a snide remark from the Zentarum that says, since you already misplaced the castle.
Okay, which one are the Centarum?
The one that Coven banged. She winks when she says it. She's just
Oh,
having
okay.
fun at his expense. You can see Neverember makes a sour face.
So really, we have two options. I mean, just kind of unofficially, the
Can the-
Dragonborn or the White Dragon Mask.
Why
Something
can't
about the White Dragon Mask doesn't seem right to me. Can I try to like figure out if there's something weird about the spy or something?
That's
Why
the
do-
Mark V Ogre boys right there.
why do we need to wait? Why can't they send another party, another force to investigate the other while we go the other direction? That way there's no delay in time. It seems
Change
silly
the-
to have. It seems silly to have us have one issue wait when there's so many, so many troops that we pull together to investigate multiple things at once.
Hey, Jason, that
Yes.
spy. Can I like do an insight or something on him? I don't like the story. I mean, I really doubt a superpower.
I'm sorry,
guy
it's also
loses
south.
a dragon
I'm
mask.
really failing as a DM here. Verum would be this. The area he is describing is actually straight southeast of Waterdeep. Like way southeast. It'd be in the neighborhood of the Serpent Hills. Let me change.
Wait,
the map
which
here.
is that for the white one? Is the Serpent
Yeah.
Hills?
Yeah, well, roughly, it's near the Serpent Hills.
And the Draghorn
I've
is
just-
way up
I've
north.
put an arrow where he's talking about,
Okay.
and the Sea of Moving Ice is way up there.
It would take us months to reach either location.
We have a flying
now-
castle, boys.
Right?
If you're looking for preference, most of the council is more interested. Well, they're interested in both. They're actually very interested in the Sea of Moving Ice right now. Of more information about the Draghorn.
I agree with
Because-
that.
With
Yeah.
the dragon activity being increased, they really want to stop whatever's calling them.
Yeah.
Well, I think Brim's right. If we just focus on one thing, the other one gets left undone. I think that the investigation of the Sea of Ice would be better left to members of the council while we focus our efforts on the mask.
No, I think we should do the Draghorn. The dude lost his mask or whatever. There's something fishy there, I think.
Well,
If he lost the mask, he's got a lot of information, so we can spare his life too.
Is it that fishy though? I mean, didn't we run into another? Wait.
Hey guys,
All right.
let's think
Yeah.
about this for 5 minutes. I need a soda and some more pizza.
Okay.
All right.
We'll be back here in 5.
It's,
Okay. Back in 5 minutes.
We know those little intermission pictures like the movie theaters.
Okay, so didn't we run in? I didn't want Coven to say it out loud because my brain was working. Didn't we run into another member of the cult who seeked the elimination of Verum the White? Wouldn't we? Like, is it not possible that they actually tracked down Verum and got him?
Yeah,
he's
it was
still
the
alive, they would have
chick
to
at
seal
the
it.
hunting lodge.
Exactly. I don't remember her name. I'm pretty sure we actually took that down.
It was
I
something
just-
white.
The Drakhorn calls all the dragon. It calls good, it calls bad, or
Yeah.
whatever. To me, that seems so much more important than the white dragon mask.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I also kind of feel like it's a trap.
And knowing the dragon masks, how they kind of operate now, I mean, doing some research, you know, that white one's not that important. The Drakhorn's what's important. That's where we need to go.
Yeah, and that's where the whole thing about dragons isn't. I mean, if the Draghorn is an artifact, is it something that we can use? I mean, that's something else. And we already know from your research that keeping the dragon mask doesn't stop Tiamat from being summoned; it just weakens her. So
It slows the process down.
I think the Drakhorn, it doesn't really. All you need are 2.
2 of the 5 masks.
And so if we got that one, we would have 2. I mean, we're not trying to summon her. So I'm thinking Drakhorn's the rock that
I
the
agree.
path we should take. Plus, it would give us more brownie points or whatever with the, you know, all the council
Yeah.
people. Because
exactly.
more
They're
of
all
them
gonna-
are-
where's the
I'll
white
say
dragon
this:
mask?
if you decide to pursue the Drakhorn, the Order of the Gauntlet and Harper's both let you know that they have, they can get a ship ready that will take you with a crew.
Nice.
It's an icebreaker that makes this trip frequently.
Hell yeah.
Sweet.
It could take you up there if that's the way you want to go. Otherwise, they can also the Harpers can put you with get you on board the Frost Skimmer. It leaves tomorrow morning, or the Emerald Enclave, the Order of the Gauntlet has a troop of paladins heading south, and they could escort you down to the Serpent Hills. So whichever way you want to go, they'll help you with the transportation.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually think I agree with Brian that maybe up north is the way where we should go.
Well, I think it would be best if we split the forces and had some of the council handle something. And with that idea, I think us going after the mask would be we wouldn't want the council to go after the mask, I guess I should say.
Why?
We want to know who we can trust.
We'll
Pretty
know who
much.
has it.
I mean,
Not if they don't tell you.
I think the Drakhorn's the bigger piece of this puzzle.
If
Oh,
you
yeah.
go after the Drakhorn, the Harpers will continue to follow Verum. Will continue to try and locate Verum. They don't know where he's at. They just have an idea.
That works until we get more.
Yeah, so we could try to get the Drakhorn and then circle back
I'll tell
and
you
do
this:
this.
if you go after Verum, nobody else is going after the Drakhorn.
oh, well, then we should go after the Draghorn. We've got to make efforts on both fronts.
Yeah.
What kingdoms are in and surround the Serpent Hills? I say as I'm looking at the same map that you have.
Isn't that near Greenest? Or
It's not. I mean, honestly, by comparison, it's
oh
not too
crap,
far.
Greenest is south.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Greenest
it's way
is
south.
The Serpent Hills is east across the High Moor from Dragonspear.
Yeah.
What
as
was the
far
High
as
Moor?
jurisdiction it falls under? Doesn't really. It's kind of its own place. It's actually kind of I won't say desolate, but like it's kind of in the middle of nowhere on the edge of a swamp.
Okay.
Oh, more swamps.
So the High Moor is just a big old swamp.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's not a swamp like the Mirror of the Dead Men, but it is a swamp.
Okay. More grassy then.
Yeah, think of it like a lowland marsh.
So Florida. Got it.
Yeah, the Everglades. It's much bigger.
Okay.
And there's actually roads that would go around to the Serpent Hills. I mean, you wouldn't have to march through the swamp.
Yeah, I think if they're going to go after the mask, that seals the decision to go after the Draghorn.
I don't think they're going after it. I think they're investigating.
They're not going after it. They're
Well,
just trying to locate it. Right
Even
now,
investigate, because honestly, if they were going to send a retinue to the Draghorn and nothing to the mask, then I would say let's go do the mask. But if it's this way, I say
the Order of the
Draghorn's a
Goblin's
good
not
choice.
sending paladins there. They're just sending paladins down south to help with defenses in Baldur's Gate and east of there.
Well, yeah, but the Harpers are going to spy or whatever. I'm
The
going to
Harpers will
assume.
continue trying to find him. They're going to keep doing their thing.
Yeah. So I think the Draghorn's a clear choice.
Yeah, I agree on the Draghorn. I just want to know specifically what will be done about the mask, so that when we return from our adventures in the with the information on the Draghorn, we can know where we need to go next. I want to know who to talk to find out who knows what about the white mask.
There's the vote.
All right.
Oh, there it is.
Oh.
What?
The one option.
Oh,
Yeah. Who's going to Draghorn? There it is. Yeah.
so you just check it. Got it.
I'm the observer, so I'm not going to check.
Well, that's 3, so that would be 3 out of 5 either way.
You guys want to split the party?
Best party split
Oh, well, yeah.
ever.
It's going to be tough to handle those sessions, but we can do it.
No, it'll be cool. Eventually, we're going to end up with 10 people in this party because the people who go after the mask are going to recruit 3. Then us going after the Draghorn are going to recruit 2.
Nice. I have a big reunion in the Well of Dragons.
It's going to be really hard to roleplay 2 characters. Leslie's going to help me with my other one.
All right. So 3 out of 5.
Okay.
We're not really representing a united front, but I guess we don't agree. So that's exactly what it is.
The only question is, do the 2 people that are more interested in the mask, are they going to go after the Drakenhorn?
I'm staying with the party.
Okay.
Don't really have much choice.
What did Coven want to do?
Coven's going after the Draghorn.
Okay, me too then. Definitely.
All right. The next morning, you move down to the docks and you meet Captain LaRusta. Lerustah. Captain LaRusta. He's a veteran. Sorry. He's a veteran on the ice. He's been sailing up and down the Sword Coast, up into the far north for a very long time. His
Has he
ship
seen
is
her?
called the What?
Has he seen her?
Has he seen what?
Makath.
Oh, Macath the Crimson?
Yeah.
No, he has no idea who that is. His
one's
ship
seen
is
it in
called the
3 years.
Frost Skimmer. It is a single-masted schooner that is built for breaking ice. It's very light. It doesn't have a below deck. It's just one deck. The ship is light enough that the crew can actually pick it up and carry it across ice floes that it can't break.
Badass.
So he tells you that with favorable. Oh, by the way, Captain LaRusta is ugly as fuck. The whole left side of his face was badly frostbitten, so it's rotted and necrotic. So he wears a hood most of the time to cover up his face so he doesn't scare kids. Everybody on the ship looks pretty rugged. One, it looks like they know their way around a weapon, and 2, it looks like they're used to a pretty hard life. They're like it's a little brisk right now, and they're like shirts off and sweating because they're so used to the Arctic.
Damn.
The
Do we
captain
need
lets
to
you
bring
know
like
that,
heavier clothes?
the wind looks favorable right now. Could probably get you up to the sea of moving ice in a few days. After that, the ship will have to slow down and we'll have to move more cautiously. Whenever you're ready to put aboard, we can get on our way.
Do we need to get heavier clothes for this?
We should definitely spend 100 gold on cold gear and food and rations and shit.
It'll cost you nothing for any of those things. You present your writ, and they're given to you.
Fuck yes.
Well, mounts, yeah.
We don't need mounts. It's
Okay.
literally a sea of moving ice.
Like afterward, I was thinking. That's fine. Yeah, you're right. That's a bad idea on a ship.
I mean, do they have polar bear mounts? Can I get a polar bear mount?
It doesn't cost you anything. That's amazing.
Is it a dragon man with a sword riding a polar bear in armor? Fuck, run.
Now, FYI,
Yeah.
there are 40 crew members for the ship, and as you are boarding the ship, he looks at Lucas and Balkel pretty suspiciously and says, "Are you magic users?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't like that.
I have no care one way or the other. But on my ship, no fire spells. No spells that blow holes in my boat. The water's very cold, and I'm pretty sure you wouldn't do well with a swim. So if we get in a fight, try to remember that.
I'm not a fire caster, so it'll be fine.
Me either.
You're a force
One of my
caster.
Coven.
I know.
I
Yeah,
don't
force
use fire.
caster blows holes in boats.
I don't use.
I said I'm not a
Does
fire
magic
caster. I'm
missile-
not a force caster.
Does magic missile blow a hole in a boat?
Yeah.
It's force based, but it doesn't miss. So depends where you're aiming.
Okay. I'll tell him it's wind based. We're good.
Texan, seriously, lame.
That's lame.
Good, lame.
Nah, you're awesome, Texan. Don't listen to us. You're awesome.
All right. It takes roughly 3 days for you to move north up the coast into the Sea of Ice,
Yes.
Sea of Moving Ice. It's pretty uneventful. You see 1 or 2 ships as you're passing, but the Frost Skimmer actually moves pretty damn fast. It's light and its sail is actually pretty good size. Oh, is that how you vote no? You click the thing twice?
Yeah, you double click.
Oh, cool. Okay. Sorry, I just noticed that.
I think once we get everyone to vote, it'll go away. Or say, like, pass or fail.
Nope.
Never
No.
mind. I lied. Just
It
talking out
reminds
my
us
ass.
of how we
No.
did.
All right. And no. Here.
I told you he doesn't like us, Lucas.
It's an understandable fear.
So, you are. You travel up far into the north. You're moving through the Sea of Ice now. Each day is just grueling as you're trying to move through the ice. They're trying to pick patterns and break through the weaker ice that they can.
Hey, can I help
Occasionally,
you?
they stop. They tell everybody to get off the boat, and you walk across a larger iceberg while they carry the boat across it. And then
I'm
put back
totally gonna help.
Yeah, I'll help him with Eldritch Blast as often as I can.
Okay.
I'm
I
going
will
to
help.
point
Actually-
very importantly.
I'm gonna help carry the boat because I'm a baby.
Point
I'd like
Graham.
to fly up and see if I can
Yeah.
find a path.
Ooh, good call.
Okay. Tell you what. Give me a nature check. You're
Hold
looking
on, I'm gonna
for the last that it was heard of is that McCath had described her last sending. She had described that she found a likely place where the horn might be, and it was a large plateau-like iceberg in the Sea of Moving Ice. The problem is it probably moves. So you're really just,
Weird.
it's a very time-consuming process just searching this.
Well, it's better eyes in the sky than
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Nothing found. The next day.
Can I take Coven up with me next time?
Sure.
Just tell me who you want to go up with you. I can make them fly.
What? You got mad fly powers?
Make them fly. Jason, you get it right.
All right, so should I make a nature check then?
Yes.
Thrones.
All right. Oh, shit. I accidentally covered up my thing. Give me a second. Wow.
Okay. Nice. Okay, after 2 days of travel, you find, what is that one? 4. Okay, so the captain would like to know, at night, would you prefer to like bed up into an ice floe and camp, build shelters and camp, or would you prefer to just push through the night and sleep in shifts? It's much more uncomfortable and much colder on the surface on the deck of the boat at night, but he doesn't really have a preference either way.
Wow. I think we should rest. We have like a whole part of a continent to search out. It could be literally anywhere. I think that taking our time and resting at night, that's why we bought supplies.
Okay. Okay, so each night you pull up and build small shelters, pile up snow, and make basically igloos. On the the fifth night since you've left, the second night that you're in the ice floe, you need to know who is on guard. I mean, your watch order.
Coven always volunteers for first or second.
Okay, it'd need to be 4 people. No, 3 people.
I will.
I'll do one.
I have really good night vision.
Okay.
And I'll ask.
It would be 4. 8 hours sleep would be. I forget how it works. You have to be sleeping at least 6 of it or something like that. It'd be 4 people. Okay. It looks like Jaeger would be the one on watch. So Jaeger, you instantly spot it. There's no maybe. You instantly spot 3 scrags. We're not using a map for this one. This is just theater of the mind, FYI.
Alrighty.
So you're on a large ice floe. It's pretty much open terrain, except there's a boat on your west.
What's a scrag?
A scrag is an ice troll, basically.
Okay, so they don't mind the cold water.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Usually we call it sea trolls. I think about it.
Scrag.
So there are 3 scrags approaching, and you spot them when they are still. Let me grab this here. When they are still 130 feet away. They've just climbed up. You catch movement. You spot them climbing out of the water onto the ice floe that you're on, and they start moving towards you.
Hell yeah.
130. I'm gonna nudge
Just
somebody, and I'm gonna start
describe
firing
the terrain a
arrows.
little better. You're on an area that's about 30 foot radius, so 60 feet across, and each beyond that is crumbling ice floes, and it would all be considered difficult terrain in patches. So anything beyond your 30-foot radius, you need to check with me as to whether or not you're crossing onto another surface. They have one section of difficult terrain between them and you right now. They would be all considered beyond, like they're at very far range. It would take basically 2 full turns of running to get into engagement range. And I want to remind people that's how we're going to describe things. If something is engaged, consider it in base-to-base contact. If it's nearby, you could move and be base-to-base in the same turn. If it's far away, it will take a full turn to get base-to-base with it. And if it's very far, it will take more than a turn of movement to close with it. So right now, the trolls are very far away from all of you.
How far away is the boat?
Jaeger, you're the only one who's awake.
I was gonna, wake someone up and let them rouse the others, and I was gonna start firing arrows at them
Okay.
while they
who
close
are
the
you?
distance.
Which person are you waking?
Lucas probably, because he won't just scream at everybody. I think.
Okay, Lucas, I need a Constitution check. I want to see how quickly you could get your wits about you. You can add your You can make whatever your perception bonus is. You can add to it. But you're making a Constitution check with your perception.
I don't have perception.
Okay, then it's just your regular Constitution check. Okay, you instantly snap alert. You wake up immediately. Everybody will be able to. So you will have a surprise round, Jaeger. They don't even realize you've seen them, and then we will have normal initiative after that. So everybody, go ahead and roll initiative.
Nice.
There we
Shit, I
go.
lost where- Oh, there it is.
6 with advantage. Guys, I am wide awake, but I am going to take my sweet ass time.
I
Wow.
need to stretch before I cast anything.
That's a pretty initiative. That's pretty amazing.
How far away was the boat?
Jesus, Coven, that was with advantage.
With advantage, I got a single digit number. Like, are you serious?
I'm still waiting for initiative
Sorry.
from. Why didn't I get your initiative? Oh, did you actually click initiative?
No, I haven't yet. No, hang on. I'm doing it now. Try to find it. It's been a while since I had to roll initiatives. I'm trying to remember where
I
it is.
drug yours over, Coven. Did you actually click your initiative button?
You know what? I totally didn't. I
Okay,
apologize.
that's okay. I got it. I drug it over.
Okay.
I feel like an 8, but I can't remember where initiative is.
Main tab
Main screen.
I'm looking up there, right there. I'm sorry. I found
or
it.
F12. That's where I put it.
I found it.
Okay, so round 0 starts off with Jaeger. Now, are you all familiar with targeting using the combat tracker only?
Yeah, control click in the clock.
If you just hold control, it works just like you were targeting normally.
Hey, do I get a 0 round action as well because he woke me up?
No.
No, your action is waking everybody else up.
Okay.
Unless you're not waking everybody else up, I guess that's
Yeah,
your
well, I
plan.
was going to have Falamir help me.
Okay, no, he can do that. Falamir will fly around poking people to wake them up.
Nicely.
Gonna eat it.
He pokes them nicely. He grumbles about it. He's like, fine, I'll poke them nicely. Like when he gets to the first one, he gets to Balkel and he looks and he goes, "Hee," and smiles at you before he pokes him in the neck. He's poking like a bug bite, not damage.
Okay. Gonna eat it.
Okay, Jaeger.
All right, I'm on to. Let's try this new thing out.
Got him.
So I'm calling out that guy.
Calling him out.
Nice.
Ugh.
Oh,
Wow.
Ugh.
Wow.
Holy shit.
It
Oh
is
my
cold.
God.
Your fingers are cold, buddy. He's like, no,
All
I'm,
right.
I'm not accepting this shit.
it warmed up a little bit.
Oh my god!
Hey, good news, guys. His next roll's a 20.
Oh,
Took. Damn, dude. Damn. Oh god!
Okay,
Holy shit!
so I need to
TPK.
remove that.
oh shit!
You need to put that effect on differently. You've got the troll targeted, and you need to drag that damage onto you. Hold shift and drag it onto you. And it should put it on you targeting the troll.
Hey, Jason, can you clear pushing attack for me, please?
But it didn't, so I'll just do it. There. It's targeting the troll. Okay. So go ahead and roll a d6, because you should have done d6 more damage. Can I do what, Nick?
Clear pushing attack for me?
Yes.
Thank you.
Wow.
God damn.
So he rolled what? A combined
7
19.
Okay.
and
Your
6
dice?
die rolls.
Not on fire. All
You know
right.
who's about Oh wait, where's the boat again?
Round 1. So the Scrags go right away. Number shrinkage. Nice. Okay. The trolls really cover ground quickly. They cover 60 plus feet easily. They don't seem to have any trouble with crossing from one ice floe to the next. Probably because they swim as fast as they walk. They are all far away now. Okay? So they are one full round of movement away from being engaged. And it is Jaeger's turn.
Wait,
All right.
didn't he have surprise?
What?
Didn't he have surprise last turn?
He did.
Oh, when you have surprise, that's advantage, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
He
shit!
did. Okay, you can re-roll all your ones that missed. You can get 3 more attacks.
Get it. Get that shit.
These are for last turn.
God damn.
God. I don't know, guys. Does it really
Nice.
even matter at this point?
Yes.
Yes, it
Yes,
does.
it matters.
Roll your damage. Hopefully it has that D6 now. There it goes.
Ah,
You put that D6
that
in
was
there.
So much better. Yeah, you redeemed yourself.
Nice. Okay, and you got one more attack from last round.
There it is.
Yeah.
I feel better now.
Fucking daddy, that's what I'm saying, baby.
Okay. Now it's round 1.
Okay, now they went.
All right.
Are you talking to me?
No.
Am I being loud?
Hit.
Okay, sorry.
Wife
You don't need a
aggro.
5 to hit.
Nice. Freaking 20.
He needs a 5 to hit, and he was missing.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I really wish I could fly right now. That'd be really useful.
Okay, Brim.
So they're like really long. How's my javelin range affected by this?
It's not affected by the cold, but it,
Like the range, I
you
mean.
can throw up to 60 feet. They are right at your long range right now. If
Okay.
you advance 30 feet, it would still be a long range throw for you. So
Okay.
you can throw 60 feet with disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
You have to get to 20 feet before there's no disadvantage.
But they're in the water, right?
No, they just crossed the last sheet of ice between you. No, there's actually right.
Okay,
No,
so there
they
is
crossed the sheet of ice. See, there's another sheet of ice they have to cross. Like basically where the ice is thin and crumbly. But they went through the last one with no pause.
Okay.
Like when they hit the water, they like dolphin through it and shot out like Kevin Costner in Waterworld.
Okay, so I'm gonna hang back. I'm just gonna do double javelin.
Okay. There's a good chance you will lose these javelins. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, actually, no. They're on solid ice right now, so
Okay.
they might not be lost.
Let's see.
It's just a javelin. You can make more.
That's true. It's essentially the pointy stick. Let's be honest here. Disadvantage. Sorry, I had to put my character sheet. I don't have my javelin on my bar here. Actions.
I guess I could put things on my
You forgot to target one.
Oh, I can't see him.
You got to
They're on the
combat tracker.
Oh, I know you target the combat tracker. Okay.
You wasn't thinking
Scrag 10 is the one that's
Obviously.
No, I was looking
just
at
drag and drop that one onto Scrag 10.
how do I target him now? Do I click on this?
You've got him targeted now.
Oh, I do. Okay.
Yeah,
I
see,
know.
on your thing, it says targets, Scrag 10. Okay, you hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Hang on.
Nice. 9 damage.
Okay.
It's
disadvantage.
badly wounded.
Doing it again. In theory.
Hey, I'm not seeing anything go by in chat. Oh wait, it was my fault.
You
Oh,
were scrolled up, weren't you?
I hit.
I was scrolled up.
you hit. I know, but there was a 20 on the other one.
Oh, I didn't see that. By the way, interesting about disadvantage. It consumes double ammo.
Hey Josh, move your mic off your mouth, will you, buddy?
Yeah, when I do disadvantage on my javelin
Where?
because it
It's a
rolls
bug.
twice, it consumes.
Well,
yeah,
just fix it. It
I
shouldn't
am. I
have-
just thought it was interesting.
Bam!
Nice.
Dying.
Yeah, that's how you do it. I'm just gonna stay where I am because I don't see any incentive to move forward just yet. Wait, where is Jaeger? Or where is Coven? No, nobody else move forward yet. I'm gonna stay here for now. I'm staying on the ship.
Okay, Valkel. There
Wait,
are 2
we're
trolls
on the-
left standing. They
Oh no,
are
we're
far
not on the
away.
ship.
We're not on the ship.
We're on the ice sheet. Is that right?
We are not on the ship right now. We're on the
Okay.
ice next to the ship. The ship is currently basically frozen in place.
Okay, I want to basically move close enough that they can't then move adjacent to me and hit me next turn. However that works.
Okay, so you just want to back up so that they're very far again.
No, I want to move close enough so that if they move towards me again on my turn, I can then get base to base. I don't want me to move forward and then next turn they move adjacent to me and attack me. Does that make sense?
So
Right
yes, he
now,
wants to back up.
they can right now they will be able to run up to you, but not still attack,
Yes, that's what I want.
unless they have some sort of special option. But I mean, right
that's
now,
fine.
it will take them a full round of mash to get to you.
Okay, I'll wait here then.
Okay, Balkel. By the way, I'm kind of assuming Brim Coven in front and everybody else behind. So
Yeah.
unless you guys say otherwise, or I don't know, is Lucas in front or behind or what?
No, he's very much behind.
Okay. So I'm assuming Coven and Brim will do their best to be the front line.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So what is Balkel doing?
I am. They said I can't use fire at all, or just not on the ship.
He just said no throwing fire spells on my boat.
I am
Good.
off
Good.
the boat because that's fantastic. And they are 60 feet away, so
Hey, check this out. Right there.
I can't tell what that is. It's all kind of fuzzy because you're
That's
back.
because of my thing. Yeah. That's my tokens for Ogre.
Oh.
I made a 3D set. I made a physical set.
Do you
There's
have a
my-
printer?
My Ogre tank. They're just cardboard. I mean, card stock.
I'm a fireball because
Okay. So,
icy trolls.
oh, hold on. Let me do something here. I need to clear mage armor. You do not have mage armor right now.
Yeah,
So
I
you're
have
going to
shield.
throw a fireball at them?
Yes.
Okay, it's very important that I go ahead and untarget him then. Target all 3.
And
Because all 3 are going to be hit by the blast.
Oh yeah, one's dying, but it'll still get hit.
Okay. Go ahead and force their saving throw. Okay. 2 fail, 1 succeeds. Go ahead and roll the damage and it'll automatically apply it.
Oh God.
Okay. Now that one is really dying. The one with the javelins.
He's already dying though, wasn't he?
Nope. He was going to stand back
Troll.
up next turn.
Oh, right.
It
Troll.
was super fire too.
Gotcha.
So
He's a troll. They regen.
Nice. I forgot about
They
that.
regen all damage except for acid and fire.
that's why I needed to throw fire at him.
Okay. Super
And-
fire. Oh, by the way, Brian, I need to.
What? Get rid of that?
There's a thing we can do now. They've actually got a way I can put a modifier in that says fire and then a second type of like fire and then in parentheses put ignore or
Super
resist
fire.
or something. And that way that damage type will make it go through. But we'll do it later.
Okay.
Super fire is good. But
I'm just
only
staying in the
problem
back.
with super fire is if something is vulnerable to fire damage, it will not work.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, Coven.
Yeah. So they can get me next turn, but they can't attack unless I have something special. That's what I heard you say.
And you're not throwing anything because you have your awesome sword, right?
Yeah, fuck that. I ain't throwing shit. I'm gonna let them come to me.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you are. Can I get a charisma check?
Absolutely.
Oh!
This is in the
I'm
tower.
glad I didn't fireball you.
Okay. You are correct. You are standing your ground with your badass sword. But it's telling you, what are you doing? We should get closer. We should get closer. Let's go get him now. And you let it know If we spend all this time running, we won't be able to hit them when they get to us. And that calms it down. So the sword lets you do your thing.
It's like, oh, I get a swing earlier. Okay.
Okay, Lucas. Ooh.
Hold on 1 second. Shit, I forgot how to push him.
Push.
You just tell me he's going to be pushed.
I'm pushing him.
Okay, so Scrag 7 is getting pushed back. I'll just add a new effect.
Is that prone as well?
He is at 70 feet now. No, just push. You know what? This actually works. We could do that too.
Oh, hey, wait. I have a rules clarification whenever we finish up on this turn.
Okay.
So we are delaying is no longer a thing, right?
Correct.
Delaying is not a thing.
But we can ready an action.
You can ready an action, but readying an action, if you're readying a spell, requires concentration, so you'll lose any concentration spells you have going. And if you do something else instead of cast it, you lose the spell. The other option, because you've cast it, the concentration is to hold it.
Okay, gotcha.
And if you do a weapon attack, that is your action, is the readied attack. You don't get to use extra attacks with it.
Yeah, that's
because
fine.
extra attacks only happens on your turn.
Okay, well, can I say that I just readied an attack for as soon as something's close, as soon as one of them is close enough to hit? Because that seems way better than waiting for them to stand there and then taking my turn.
That's good. Yeah.
That's
I
fine.
thought that's what you were doing.
Yeah, so yeah, I am readying an attack. Is there buttons I can click for readied?
You could drag the effect. I think it's in the effects tracker.
Here, let me bring open the effects here.
Oh, look at that. I just noticed that. Holy shit.
What's
What?
that? What?
The effects tab.
Effects tab. Where's that?
Bottom right in the upper right hand corner.
Upper right hand corner looks
Thank
like a
you.
little dude.
Oh, there's a ready action thing in there. Is that what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Where are you
I put
talking?
the ready action there, but I'm talking about the conditions.
Oh, okay.
They've got them all pre-built now.
Nice.
Okay, that's fantastic.
That's all the different effects it recognizes.
Nice.
That's cool. That is really cool.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna
fucking
start
sweet.
opening that when I get started too, and along with the combat tracker.
Hey, so
Right.
the pixie can be invisible.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's up?
You
You are.
are, yeah. Scrag's 12.
Round 2, I'm sorry. The Scrags. So, the first one, neither one of them actually... Wait. You see? That's the problem
What's that?
with Brian's spells.
What about it?
Oh, it
Because they're
healed.
called Super Fire instead of Fire.
Oh, it regened.
Brian, do you remember how to adjust these?
Oh, is it preparation?
You go into your spells. I've got one open.
No, just tell me which mode I have to be in.
Okay. It'd be, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Like Firebolt, do the magnifying glass.
So just
Then do
standard.
the magnifying
Standard
glass
or
next to...
preparation. That's all I need. I know how to do it. Just tell me standard or preparation.
I don't know. I don't use either of those. I just click the magnifying glass next to Firebolt. On the right side.
Change to fire.
And then for the damage, put fire, comma,
I may have
space.
missed something. You might need to take that off. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I guess so. The
So
28 damage
that
you
one
just did
didn't
to it.
work. Let's try this one.
Hold on.
Stop killing my trolls.
I don't know. I'm assuming you don't need to be in preparation. I've got you in standard. Actually, I'm going to put you in combat. Okay. You're in combat. Display I have set to actions. So on Firebolt, there's a line for damage.
Yeah,
See it? Okay, click that magnifying glass,
I did.
and that's where the type is. And I'm going to change the type to fire and magic.
Oh, I think it's because you were in it. It wouldn't let me.
Okay. That
I
will
can
make
do
it
it
so
on
that
all
it's
the
fire.
others.
So, And actually, you doing 10 to both of them is perfect because they regen 10. So
Well, that was funny.
now they're right back to where they started.
Super good roll.
Okay. The Scrag 12 continues his charge and is now engaged. Whoops.
Wait, Jason,
Yes.
how did he do 10 to both?
He had them both targeted and hit his thing and rolled 10 damage.
Nice.
It was just coincidence.
Okay. And the other one is now nearby.
Okay.
So the one that's engaged, is he next to me or Brim?
That's a good question. I'm just going to roll a die.
We'd be kind of within right next
I'm
to
trying to
Jordan.
shake it like in Tabletop Simulator. That's hilarious. Brim, actually.
Oh, I would have pulled out my weapons, by the way, on the last turn. Just not that it matters, but after throwing my javelin, I would have done that.
Sure. Okay. Jaeger, it's your turn. The trolls are both nearby to you. One
All
is
right,
engaged with Brim, and the other one is near Coven on its way to him.
I'll call out the next one. Tell Brim I've got his back. So let's see if we can get him.
That'll do it.
Yeah. Get him. Get him.
For 13.
And then I'm gonna get cocky.
Ooh!
Nice.
Yeah. Remember to add the damage. There you go.
Oh, shit.
Question. I thought you did the call out thing.
Did it not still have my D6 on there?
It did not. What you need to do, okay, you got the Crag 12 targeted and drag the damage. Hold on. Let me look at the effect. I want to make sure that it's third party targeting and it's a little weird. Once you get used to it, it works great, but it's a little weird. Hunter's mark. Here it is. There. Damage 1d6. Effect needs to be self, maybe? No, that's not right. It's targets. So while it's your turn, you hold shift and drag this onto, which is Scrag 12. Damn it, it still didn't do it.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute, that almost did it. Oh, I see. Okay. Subtract that. Hold shift and drag it onto yourself. Okay, it's at 74 damage. Roll damage on it once. I just want to see if it adds the d6.
Oh, regular damage.
Yeah, actually roll it. It didn't. What the fuck? I'm almost there. Sorry, I haven't done a targeted effect in a long time.
Me either.
Cute.
As it turns out.
Josh, it sounds like you're in a wind tunnel.
Yeah, I was about to say it. Like, do you have a fan pointed at your face? I think that it's.
Yeah, there's one in the room.
Okay, I think that's what it sounds like. I was trying to track it down by like where it is on your face. I was staring at your face
What's-
for a very long time.
That's so nice.
It's weird. Thank you.
Very nice.
Nope, that's not it.
Okay.
Oh
Is
no,
that
I hit the
better?
wrong button. Oh,
Yeah,
that is
can't hear it
dead
at all.
on.
Thank you.
It's targets.
Thank you, sir.
I couldn't figure out who it was. You were the last person I checked. I was like, is it me? No.
Yeah, I checked my shit. I was like, am I doing that? Can I just drag paralyzed onto someone else and be a dick? Brim is now paralyzed. No, he's not.
Whatever.
I don't want to try.
I didn't do anything anyways.
So I changed all my spells,
All right,
whatever
I'll
their
fiddle
thing
with it
is,
more,
in
but-
magic.
When you apply the d6, I'll make it target them correctly. I'm manually dragging it onto them so that it targets
Okay.
them. But anyways, you hit twice, right?
He hit with
Yes.
the big one.
Yeah. Roll 2d6. You should have 2d6 more damage on it.
Nice.
Okay. And okay,
Still not dead.
still not dead.
Pick because you need me to hit it. So I have the critical one next to me, correct? And the other one is just nearby. Okay, yes, it actually says that. Never mind. So I'm going to attack the ones adjacent to me with my magical weapons. My flail first. I haven't targeted, do I?
I don't see
Nope.
you having him targeted.
No.
Do I
Drag
click-
12.
do I have him targeted now?
Nope. Hold control
No.
and click on
Oh,
it.
hold control. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay,
There you
okay, okay.
Hey.
So let's do this.
Nice.
And it's down.
And then I'm going to move over to the other one. Longsword. I guess I need to target
Okay.
it.
So it is now engaged with Brim.
I need to untarget Scrag 12, though. It still shows it being
Yep.
engaged. Okay. I can't, though. It's off the
sorry.
tracker.
Here.
Yeah, no problem.
There. It's on the tracker
Okay,
again.
Perfect.
Hit.
Well, thankfully, they're easy to hit.
Yeah, rub it in.
I get another flail attack.
Unless you're at like 130-foot range.
Hit.
And then, do I see anything else around us, or is this pretty much it? Like, this is all I'm seeing?
It's just an icy tundra.
Okay.
You're on a pile of icebergs. You don't see any other trolls.
Okay, then I'm going to go in
You
action.
don't see any other activity. The guards are by the boat. They are not fighting, by the way.
I don't need action surge. You guys will finish it. I'm going to save it just in case.
Yay! I want to hit the one that's down. Do I get advantage?
Yes. Wait. This is a ranged attack, right?
It's a firebolt.
Yeah, it's a ranged attack. You'd actually have disadvantage unless you
Just go
move. Well,
for
you
it.
could move adjacent to it.
Yeah, point blank at its face. Do it for coolness.
Would I be out of range of the other one?
No, not at all.
He
They're
would be
they're
in
both
range.
within walking, like one move. You could get to
No,
either
no,
one
no.
of them.
I understand they could walk over to. I mean, can I shoot the thing back off without it being in range that way?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to do that then and firebolt it
Okay.
to the face.
You don't even have to roll the first firebolt. It's dead.
Wait, he only has one.
No, he has like 5.
A firebolt?
Yeah, your firebolt is a 2d8 or 2d10
Oh,
spell.
2d10. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't mean the first firebolt. I just mean you walk up and firebolt it. It's dead.
All right, I was very confused.
Well, did you put the fire damage on it?
I don't have to. I deleted it from the combat tracker.
Okay.
If the motherfucker regens now, it was meant to be.
Yeah, seriously, I'll let it happen if it comes back.
I firebolted the invisible Scrag.
Fuck Scrag 7.
How did you firebolt that one?
Did I? Oh, must be targeted.
You only
Sorry.
get one firebolt a round, right?
Yeah, I wasn't trying to. It must have still been targeted.
Gotcha. There you go.
I
put it
think
back.
I untargeted this time.
I put it back. You still have Scrag 7 targeted. If you, on your combat tracker,
Yeah.
never mind. You can't. I can.
I can't tell if I have it targeted or not.
Your targets are cleared. If you look on your combat tracker, it'll say targeting whatever.
Okay, I
Targets.
see it.
Scrag 7. There you go.
Oh,
Are you done, Brian?
yeah, I did my stuff.
Now Jaeger's targeting himself. Oh, Jaeger, that's what it is.
That's what is.
I'm just trying something real fast. I believe,
What?
Jaeger, target yourself.
Shoot yourself in the foot, literally.
Now,
Your own ass.
hold shift and drag your effect onto the Scrag 7. Bam.
This is going to
Perfect.
drive him nuts all
That gives
night.
you 1d6 against that target, but nobody else.
Nice.
Okay.
And since you're going to do it next turn anyway, so that's what you got to do. Have yourself targeted and drag and drop onto it. That way you get the effect, but it's targeting that thing. So
All right, so I'm going to run up on it and cut it.
targeted.
I'm going to run up on it and cut it real good.
Okay.
That's enough.
Oh, jeez.
Enough.
Wow. Not the best roll.
Wow. Second attack.
My flail
You
did
should
more
do
damage than that.
There's a hit. Critically wounded.
Are you fucking kidding me? I'm kind of upset that it's not dead. Like
That was actually only 2 damage below average. I would like
And
to point
Lucas
that out.
puts it down.
Uh-oh.
And then
Oh wait, Jason, my damage still says +4. It should be saying +5.
Another.
Shit, that's my fault. I have to edit that.
it should.
No, I don't.
Why should it say +5?
Because I do +5 damage.
Oh, because of your charisma.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it?
You're so pretty, you hurt people.
It says +5. Dice plus charisma.
If it's a hotkey, though, and he didn't update it.
Oh yeah, you just need to drag
Oh,
your
we-
hotkey.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, cool.
And it's down because it took fire damage. Okay,
Oh, hey, does
we're gonna
necrotic
stop
damage-
right there with the trolls wiped out,
Damn right. Dead
Yep.
troll.
and we'll pick up here next week.
Hey, I've got a question. I want somebody else to try this real quick. Open your character sheet to the actions page, and at your weapons, you can click on the little icon and beside it where it's like a sword or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can see it change through there. On a spear, I've got spears in here instead of javelins here. I think I need to correct that because
I have a bomb.
You want it on
Uh,
the throne?
Spears use strength to throw. Javelins use dexterity to throw.
okay.
No,
That's
javelins
why
are
you had a
strength.
spear.
Javelins use either.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
So-
javelins can use strength or dex.
Now,
Because originally we were using javelins, and he gave us spears, and that was the reason you did.
There, you want it on throne.
yeah, because the range gives me my dex bonus, but I want the throne because
Let's be honest. I'm surprised he didn't sell his spear because he's only ever using the sword from here on out.
That's pretty much
That's
awesome.
a good point. He raises a good point.
That's why I didn't use it.
Whoops, where's my sword goes, man? There you go.
Of course, I've got
Okay.
lots of room for javelins and spears now.
No, thank you, Texan. You're here like every week, you son of a.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Texan.
Yeah, you are like
All the way from Texas.
you're my favorite person I don't know.
He's the
All
guy
right.
we played
I'm
with
gonna
him.
stop
We played that
screaming.
tabletop game one time with him, I think.